How to do, my beloved peeps? Welcome to the Lady Walker Show. I am Lady Walker, yes. And we have another Jim Dandy of a show in store for you. My guest is here and he is going to share with us a book. His newest book entitled The New Populist Party. Yay! William Trest Jr. is the author. But before we get to that, let me declare and decree, as always, for the record, that everything is working out for my greatest good, and only good lies before me. What about you, my beloved peeps? What about you? What's going on in your world? All righty then, listen up. Now, I read this article, interesting article, okay? And some people may look at it as being, oh, that's so sweet. It all depends. Anywho, this woman said that she married at the age of 46. And that's not an old age in my eyes. And she said that when she was single, she was happy. She was a happy single person, but she found the love of her life. And well, she didn't say that, I just injected that in there. But she married at the age of 46. The guy that she married, he was once upon a time married before. And she said that he does something that annoys her. Now, to each his own. It may not annoy you or irritate you, but it does her. She says when she is busy, whether it's reading, cooking, cleaning, etc., she said he just holler out multiple times, not one, but multiple times, maybe throughout that day, honey, hey, honey, honey, I love you. Yes, honey, hey, honey, I love you. And he says it many a times. And she's annoyed with it because he wants her to stop what she's doing. He wants her attention when he does that. He wants her to stop and just listen at what he's expressing, his love towards her. And she said that she's annoyed by it and she feels guilty from feeling that way. And maybe she should just embrace that. Just embrace it, you know. Or maybe she just realized that he just may be trying to control her, or he may be gaslighting the situation, okay? So that is so interesting, but it's annoyed her. It annoys her. Okay, that's the way she feels about it, and she feels guilty from feeling that way. Now, I know Gary Chapman has written a book entitled The 5 Love Languages, okay? And I know words of affirmations is one of those love languages, but not everybody wants to hear it from that standpoint. I like affirmations and all of that, but as from a relationship standpoint, but I would be annoyed as well with someone throughout the whole day, you know, just trying to get my attention when I am really busy, because you expect for me to stop what I am doing and to hear you say that, and so that I can say it back. Like I said, some people may look at it as, oh, that's so sweet. Oh, that's so sweet. At least listen, for me, actions speak louder than words, okay? I don't mind being told that I love you, but don't sit there or stand there or whatever, or sit, stand, or lay there and constantly shout out, you love me, throughout the whole day, okay? Don't try to get under my skin that way. But like I said, to each his own, and some people may like it, some people may not. So I don't know if she didn't say whether she has addressed him to let him know don't do that as many times as he does when he do it. I mean, just think about it. Throughout the whole day, you calling, honey, hey, honey, honey, I love you. Okay. But again, that gets to be old, okay? It's sort of like he dilutes the word love. Sometimes people will say, I love you, and they may not really mean it like that. They just quit saying it, oh, I love you for this and I love you for that, and you diluting the word love. It's not as strong as it should be because you are just using it to no avail. But it's just so interesting that she feels the way she does, and I think she should let him know that he doesn't have to say it that many times. What make him think that she wants to hear it all the time like that? And like I said, your actions are going to speak louder than your words, okay, when it comes to that. You can tell significant other that you love them, and behind their back, you're doing something totally different, okay? And it's like, well, is that really love? But bottom line is, she just got to let him know, okay, I appreciate you telling me that, but just don't run it in the ground the way you do, okay? I appreciate you expressing your love, but please, it is beginning to irritate me, okay? I don't want to hear it like that. But anywho, listen, let me run on to another subject real quick. I have like 2 minutes, okay? But that's just an interesting story that I wanted to share. Oh, 3? Yeah. Okay, 3 minutes. Beloved, listen, there's a saying, I know you have heard the saying that knowledge is power. Yes, it is power when it has been implemented. When you are implementing that knowledge, then it becomes power. If you are just sitting on that knowledge and not doing anything, it's potential, true enough. It has the potential to become something great, but you are just sitting on it and you are not doing anything. Whatever that may be, knowledge is power. So let's just say you have knowledge on how to have a healthy, loving, strong relationship. You got to implement that knowledge. Otherwise, I don't know where it's going to lead your relationship. Probably nowhere good. If you have knowledge on what you need to do to pursue various goals, various dreams and all of that, you have to implement it. I know Deborah and I was talking right before taping, and you know, we were talking about people having, how some people, they don't want to do the work. Okay, they see other people succeeding in a certain area, but they don't want to put forth the work to get it done. And then they got to realize many a times some of these things are going to take time. Some of these things are going to take some time to grow in the way they want it to grow, whether it's a business or whatever it may be. It's going to take some time to get it to where you want it to be, but you have to put in the work. If you do not put in the work, guess what? It will not get done, beloved. You have to put in the work. And most time, it is not going to be an overnight success. It takes time to become a success after you put in the work. Like I said, knowledge is power when you implement it. If you are not implementing the knowledge, guess what? You will not profit from it. And on that note, gotta take a break. And guess what? Coming back with William Trest Jr., the new Populist Party. Be right back. Welcome back, my beloved peeps. I am with none other than William Trest Jr. He is the author of the new Populist Party. This is his newest book. Now, his last book was Reverse Guilty Plea. Welcome to the show, William Trest Jr.
Thank you, appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be back in your company.
It's a pleasure to be back.
Now you got this new book, The New Populist Party. I read this book, and I tell you what, I got through with this book in one day. Well, one night. I
write short books, novellas, that you can sit down and read.
But it was so interesting.
Yeah.
It was really interesting.
I pack a lot of action into a short book, Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Because there are some short books that I read and I don't get through with them in one night. But this one, Oh, it really captured my attention.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell us about how did you come up with this idea, the new Populist Party? How did you come up with this idea to do this kind of book?
I've been studying politics all my life. I took political science at Ole Miss and made straight A's.
Wow, that's interesting.
And I was interested in the 2016 election and how neither candidate was really on top of things, you know. And I felt that if if Clinton couldn't beat Trump, there was something wrong with both the parties, you know. And I decided that I would write a book about an alternative party to the Democrats and Republicans.
Okay, I mean, like I said, it's a very good book, and it held my attention. And really, and I thought about it. I said, wow, because I'm pretty sure this is based in a way. Some of it can be based upon some truth, even though this is a novella, a fiction book, but still some truth.
Well, my style is to write fictional characters about true situations in the legal and political system. That's what my basic style is, you know.
So speaking of the characters in the book, do you know exactly how that person is going to unfold? You know exactly what this person is going to be about? Or is it something that these characters unfold as the story goes? Or do you know right off top, this person is going to do this? Or is it as you continue
As I go.
As you go,
yeah,
okay.
I ad lib, it just it happens, it unfolds as I go along.
Well, how long did it take you to write this book?
1 year.
1 year?
Well, the first book, The Reverse Guilty Plea, is basically narrative. And the second book, The New Populist Party, is dialogue. And it takes a little longer to do dialogue than it does narrative. And this New Populist Party is a bigger book, a larger book than the Reverse Guilty Plea.
Now, speaking of the dialogue, I mean, the dialogue was just right on point.
Yeah, yeah.
So did anybody help you with the writing?
Meredith McGee, my publisher. She's real good at that. You know, she helps me along. I had the overall story, but she was able to help me with individual sentences and paragraphs and stuff that made it stand out, you know.
Do you, when writing this book, did you do it every day, or since it took you a year or something to write it?
I did it most days, but some days I didn't, you know. But I spent the majority of the year working on it.
Wow. Were there any challenging moments in writing the book?
No,
especially when writing.
I think the very start of it was the toughest. Knowing how to begin the book, you know, was the hardest thing. And that I was going to start it a different way, and Ms. McGee corrected me, you know, and after that point it became easier, you know.
Now, especially when the female Susan, okay? Susan is really a character, okay? How did you were able to put yourself in that situation to write from a female perspective?
That's kind of a hard question. I thought of her being from California, you know, and working for the Los Angeles Times, and being a journalist and a news reporter, and she turns into a politician, and that's a process, you know. And she eventually makes a real great politician, you know, because she has charisma, style, and intelligence.
And she didn't start out wanting to, you know, be president. She didn't start out that way.
And it didn't work out that she just worked into it, you know. And Charles was a spokesman of the New Populist Party, and Steve Jackson was the founder from Florida. And it just so happened that Susan ran for president and Steve Jackson ran as vice president. And he was from Florida, which helped the ticket, you know, when they ran for president. It has a lot of electoral votes.
So you really, like you said, you majored in political science, and you have to have some kind of knowledge to really write this. I mean, of course, the research, I'm pretty sure, was extensive.
It was.
Yeah, so you would research what's going on as for the elections
Yeah, it was really a lot of research involved, and also in the reverse guilty plea, a lot of research, you know.
Now, between those two books, and I think you did say this one, you know, was probably more challenging than the narrative because of the dialogue that you put in this book. So that's what the question I was going to, but you had already answered that question. It came back to me. Remember what they did? That is so true. Well,
Yeah.
so any more books from this standpoint? Is this going to be a sequence or
The third book
series?
is coming. It's going to be I think I hadn't decided the name of it yet, but it's going to be about Susan Wilson's actually first term in office, and that's basically going to be what it's about, her first term, you know. And then a whole sequence of books are going to come from it, you know.
All right. Well, we are going to take a break and come back and let you continue to just tell us a little bit more about the new Populist Party.
Thank you.
All right, beloved, we will be right back. The New Populist Party by William Trest Jr. To obtain your copy, visit www.thenewpopulistparty.org or www.meredithetc.com/newpopulistparty/. Welcome back, my beloved peeps. My guest is William Trest Jr. He is the author of his newest book entitled The New Populist Party. Now, as I said before, to me, it's a good book. It really captured my interest. I was like, for a moment, I was rooting for Susan until Susan did some stuff. Like, Susan, why did you go there? Susan, why did you go there? But now, what's your writing process like when writing such a book?
The hardest thing, like I said, is coming up with how to start the book, you know, what to emphasize and everything. And then you kind of go along and feel your way through step by step, you know. And you really don't know where you're going with it as you're going, you know, and then you begin to think of new ideas, and one idea leads to another, and then you get the dialogue all straightened out, and what's the most effective way to present the dialogue.
Exactly.
Where it gets the reader's attention and grabs it, you know.
Because you got dialogue between so many people.
Yeah, yeah. And you have to grab the reader's attention, you know. And that's the main thing, make it interesting, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now tell me about the reviews. How do you handle the reviews of the book?
Well, I've been real pleased with the reviews. They've all been real positive, you know. And then I have somebody that's gave me a blog on my website that was real good too.
Really?
You know?
And I asked that because guess who else made a review?
You.
Exactly. Guess whose name on this book?
Lady Walker.
Exactly. And this is a hard copy book. Now, when I read the book, it wasn't in the hard copy format. It was an e-book or something. What was it?
It was an e-book.
No, when it was sent to me, it wasn't completed yet.
Oh, that's right. It was an uncompleted version of it.
Yes. And guess what? He brought me a hard
completed
copy.
version.
Yes, a completed version.
Yeah.
A hard copy. I like it.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. So the other books are going to be somewhat similar, the ones that you're writing next. The third book. How long have you been writing?
Since 2013.
That was your first book?
First book.
Were you writing when you were younger, like when you were in college, or before you were in college?
I never really became a writer in 2013, but I studied creative writing at Ole Miss. And English composition was one of my favorite subjects.
Oh, great.
Literature and history and political science, of course, and I studied all that, and it made it where I could write a book of that nature, you know.
Are you in a writer's group?
I'm in
a book club or whatever?
In the Clinton Ink Slingers. And Ms. McGee's in it with me, you know, Meredith McGee.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, she published, helped writers, well, I guess she publishes a lot of books.
Oh yeah, she's got a. I was one of the first ones that wrote a book in her company, and she was a publisher and I was the author. I was one of the first authors. I'm not sure I was exactly the first, but she has a whole series of books that she's published now.
Exactly.
And now she's not. I wouldn't even call her a small publishing company anymore. She's really gotten to where she's getting to be moderate size now.
Yes, that is great.
Yeah, she's really come a long way, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Meredith, congratulations, okay, as well as to you on this interesting book. I mean, like I said, I couldn't really put it down. I got it read in a few hours and all of that. Any particular character in this book that you rooted for? Even though you wrote the book, is there anybody that you rooted for in this book?
Well, in a way, it was Charles Wilson, because
Yes.
he had a real bad experience in a reverse guilty plea. You know, he ended up in the Harrison County Detention Center.
Really? Yeah.
And then he gets rehabilitated by getting his sister's a major donor to the Mississippi Republican Party, and he gets Governor Dale Beaudron in this book. It's a fictional book, to grant him a pardon and get his voting rights restored. And he gets in touch with Steve Jackson, who's the head of the New Populist Party that founded it. And then he gets involved in politics, and the rest is history, you know.
Oh, okay. Now, when it comes to getting your book published, now you got to go out there and market your books. And what are some of the ways that you have marketed your books?
Well, that's not easy. You get on radio, you get on TV, of course, and you get in newspapers. I'm getting in the Jackson Advocate, get my book reviewed there, and then eventually I'm going to branch out and advertise in a lot of papers, you know.
So it's a lot of lead work that go into it.
Yeah, and I'm an Uber driver too, and I do individual advertising that way. I talk to people that are my Uber customers about my book, you know. And then I go out in public in restaurants and stuff and pass out cards to waitresses and people in the restaurant and everything, you know.
Now, as a writer, especially from this standpoint, have you met any writers who's doing the same kind of writing that you have come into contact with personally?
Not exactly. Most of the writers are in different type of books, write different type of books than I do, you know, that I've been in contact with. You know.
Now, going back to the politics thing, you really got to know something about it. I mean, I would think to write such a book, but I guess, you know, with majoring in that, you learn a lot. You're doing political science.
Yes, I've seen the politics evolve over the years. From I can go all the way back to FDR, and read about him in history, and then I remember the Kennedy administration. I'm almost 60 years old, so I can remember part of the Kennedy administration.
Okay.
And I remember Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, and I just gone, you know, way back in those days.
Oh,
you know.
okay. Well, good. Well, we are going to take a final break and come back and let you give out any contact information just in case someone is interested in knowing how they can purchase the New Populist Party, as well as your last book, Reverse Guilty Plea.
Okay.
All right, beloved, we will be right back. The New Populist Party by William Trest Jr. To obtain your copy, visit www.thenewpopulistparty.org or www.meredithexcetera.com/newpopulistparty/. Welcome back, beloved. Okie doke. William is going to give out any contact information that you may need just in case you are interested in purchasing his newest book as well as his book before this. So what's the contact information?
You can contact the author publisher on my website at www.thenewpopulistparty.org, or you can get meredithetc, the New Populist Party. That's on the website too. And then on Instagram it's Meredith etc. DOTCOM, and then on Facebook it's Meredith etc. And on Twitter is Meredith etc. And then on my Facebook is William Trest, and that's my name, William Trest.
Oh, okay.
And then the Twitter is William Trest Jr. / Trest at Trest Jr.
Oh, okay then. Well, thank you so much for that information.
Appreciate
yes.
it.
But anywho, let us know when your next book is out. But I know you got to get this out there first.
Yeah.
So that people can get their copy, right?
Yeah, I got to do that.
Yes, get
yeah.
that, go out there and promote this so that people can get this interesting book and find out what's going on in this book. Because like I said, those characters, they are something. William, thanks a trio for coming out.
Appreciate it.
And I
Thank you
look
a
forward
lot.
to you coming back.
Appreciate you. Thank
All right.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank
You're much obliged. Beloved, thanks a trio for tuning in. And I, Lady Walker, your BFF, will plant you now. I know, right? And I will dig you later. Ta-ta.